Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about 5 solo gold farms that you can do very easily inside of different raid instances, and as you will see, you will be able to make quite a lot of gold with these different gold farms. So I already talked about most of them in previous videos, but I do think these are probably some of the best gold farms right now in patch 10.2.6 in order to make some gold. So if you are interested in making gold, I would say try some of them and hopefully you will be able to get quite some good results. So let's start with our number 5. And at number 5, we will have Naxxramass. Naxxramass is a really good raid in order to make some gold, especially since patch 10.1.5, when a lot of old content was re-added into the game. Basically, with this patch, and when you are unlocking these different achievements right here, the Memory of Skullomance and the Wards of the Dread Citadel, you will then be able to farm some corrupted Scorestone from the different bosses inside of the normal raid from Wrath of the Lich King. And when you add these different corrupted Scorestones, you can exchange them with this vendor Zaket Skull Smash for some of the different death bargaining chips. And you can then use these different chips in order to buy different items from Zaket, which includes the different dented items. And so here, when you open these dented items, you then have a very small chance at getting some lamented items that are BOEs. And these items are then used by the players in order to craft tier 3 items. So as you can imagine, there's a big demand for these items and they sell really well. So as you can see, really when it comes to the sell rate and the value, all of them have really good sell rates. Most of them are at around 0.150 to 0.250. And when it comes to the value, on most realms, it's going to be around 250,000 gold for each of these different items. Keep in mind, if you're doing this farm on a realm where sadly the different lamented items are pretty cheap, you can always decide to send them on another realm using cross-realm trading, and normally like that you will have a better chance at selling them for more gold and hopefully a little bit faster. So again, for this gold farm, the first step is going to be for you to unlock these 2 achievements right here and also to unlock the vendor Zaket Skull Smash. If you haven't done so already, I made a complete guide explaining exactly how you can do that. So I will link this video in the description and hopefully you will be able to do it pretty easily. So then the farm in itself is very simple. You just want to enter the raid in either 25 mode or 10 mode. And then you just want to kill all the different bosses inside of the raid. So here, the whole point of this farm is to try and be as fast as possible. So for instance, if you have a class that can go very fast inside of these different instances, such as for instance a druid, and then also if you have a speed set and also different items that can allow you to increase your speed, such as for instance some different food items, then you will be able normally in maybe 15 minutes to kill all the different bosses inside of the raid and to get 15 different corrupted Scorestones, which will allow you to then buy 5 of the different dented items, so again per character in 15 minutes. Keep in mind, this is a farm you will only be able to do once per week per character because, well, you will kill all the different bosses. So this is something really good when you have a couple of characters you can do it with. And then what you can do is send all the different either bargaining chips or the different corrupted Scorestones to one character and open all the different lamented items on this same character. Now at number 4, we're gonna have Sepulcer of the first ones, which is the last raid of Shadowlands. So the reason why we want to do this raid is simply because you can get some really good BOE items from the different trash mobs. Especially the ones that are gonna be very valuable are the different ones from the Rogue set, and so these are lever BOEs. As you can see, basically, if you're playing on a rogue, you will be able to get this appearance from the raid just by killing some bosses. But if you're playing on any other level class and you want to collect this appearance, you will need to use the BOE in order to get it. And this is the same for the legs right here. So this is really good because again, these items look really nice. And keep in mind also, when you're doing it in different difficulties, you will have different looks. So this is even better because it means you can do it in different difficulties and get even more items to sell on the auction house. So when it comes really to the sell rate and the value, as you can see, the sell rate is pretty good, 0.042 for instance for the headpiece, and you can easily sell them for more than 150 to like 350,000 gold, especially for the mythic ones on the auction house on most realms. So here, all the different items are honestly pretty interesting, but the ones that you really want are the different lever items. I would say the plate ones are pretty interesting as well, and then maybe the mail ones. But keep in mind, if you're doing it, for instance, on a lever character, you will only be able to get the lever items. And so for this reason, I would recommend you to do this farm on a class that can use lever, because otherwise you won't be able to get these two items right here, which are the most valuable ones. Now, when it comes to the farm in itself, it's not too difficult, but it's definitely a little bit more challenging than some of the others we will go through in today's video. Basically, you want to enter the raid and then you want to make your way to the first boss. So here you will have to solo the first boss, and it might be a little bit challenging depending on your eye level and on the set that you have on your character. So for this reason, I would recommend you to definitely try at least in normal or maybe heroic. Mythic, I think, is going to be very difficult to solo, but you can normally very easily solo it in normal difficulty. All you have to do is to kill all the different trash mobs that will spawn when you engage the fight. Then at some point, some of these big golems will drop a safe zone on the ground and you just want to go inside. Here again, you want to continue killing all the different ads, and then this golem will die and will drop an orb. You just want to pick up the orb, go where the boss is, so inside of the wall, and here you will be able to drop the orb in front of the boss and it will damage the boss. And so you will need to do that 3 times in order to have the boss spawn. And then you need to simply kill the boss. So here it can be a little bit challenging because the boss sometimes is going to do a lot of damage. And so this is why I would maybe recommend you to do it on a character that can tank, because it might make it easier for you to survive and to solo this fight. When you're done with the first boss, after that you just want to go and you will have to clean this entire path that will be just after the boss. Then when you're done, you will have access to the teleporter, and so here you first want to go inside of the different planes. So when you're here, you will have to kill a lot of trash mobs, and as you can see, they will have all around the map. So keep in mind, these different mobs can stun you and it can make quite a lot of damage, so don't take the entire map because otherwise you will most likely die. What you can do is try to have some pretty big packs, and then you want to AoE a lot all these different mobs in order to kill them as fast as possible. One thing that is important to note is that when you're doing that, you can go in the different rooms where the other bosses are available. And here you just want to hit them, and like that it will reset all your different main abilities, including Bloodlust if you have Bloodlust. And of course, if you're playing on a class that doesn't have Bloodlust, you can buy the different drums from the auction house and it will allow you to kill all these different trash mobs even easier. So when you're done with this first part of the raid and you've really killed all the different mobs, make sure again to reset Bloodlust and all your abilities. And then you want to take back the teleporter. And here you want to go to the second part of the raid where you will be basically on these floating platforms. So here you want to do the exact same thing, kill all the different trash mobs, reset Bloodlust and all your main abilities with the boss that will be located here. And when you're done, what you can do is simply jump. You want to then go back at the entrance of the raid. You can exit the raid and then you can do it in other difficulties. So for instance, if you were doing it in heroic difficulty, you can then switch to normal and continue doing that. And of course, you will have to wait at least 50 minutes for all the different trash mobs to respawn, or maybe a little bit less than that. But you will have to wait for the different trash mobs to respawn simply because you killed one boss, and so you cannot just reset the raid. After that, at number 3, we're gonna have the Sunwell Plateau raid from the Burning Crusade. So this raid is really good because basically inside you will be able to get tons of BOE plans and recipes, and some of them are really good. So as you can see, the ones that you really want to get are all the different engineering schematics. And the reason why they sell well and for quite a lot of gold is simply because with patch 10.1.7, some new profession achievements were added into the game, and one of the engineering profession achievement requires you to craft all these different items right here. And so you need to get the schematic, learn the schematic, and then craft the item in order to unlock the achievement at the end. And so this is the reason why all these different items, as you can see, can easily sell for up to like 100,000 gold, and also have all a sell rate of 0.046 or more for most of them. So this is really the main type of items that you're after. But next to that, you will also have a chance at getting some really good world drop loots, including, for instance, some of the world BOEs, such as the Blade of Wizardry that you can easily then sell for 150,000 gold on the auction house, and also some of the different world plants and recipes, such as, for instance, the famous Fair Steel Long Blade that, again, you will then be able to sell for a lot of gold on the auction house. So for this raid, all you have to do is to enter the raid. Then you want to grab all the different mobs that are in the lower part of the raid. So as you can see, you'll have tons of them, and just make sure to aggro all of them. If you're not playing, for instance, on the druid, just make sure to be on your mount and only dismount when you're ready to kill all of them. So you want to aggro again all the different mobs and then go behind this little pillar, and normally all the mobs will come and attack you directly. So here you want to AoE them down. Then you want to loot all the different mobs. After that, you want to make your way to the upper part of the raid, so just take the stairs. Here, I would recommend you to use the group search and create a group. So like that, when you're about the midway of this upper platform, you can leave the group, and after 1 minute, you will be teleported outside of the raid, which is really good when you want to then go back very fast. So when you're on the upper part, again, you want to grab all the different mobs and you want to go and arrive at this last platform. And here you want to hide behind the pillar. All the mobs, including the casters, will come to attack you. You just want to AoE them down, loot. And normally by that time, you will be teleported outside of the raid. And then you can simply reset, go back and do that again and again. Now at number 2, we are going to have the Tomb of Sargeras raid from Legion. So this raid is really good, and the main reason is because many of the different BOEs that you can get from the trash mobs are unique appearances. So for instance here, as you can see, I'm going to take the best ones as an example, and these are all the different plate BOEs. So you have here the different boots for the Death Knight set, and as you can see, the only appearance is from the BOE. So it means that if a Death Knight wants to have the full set, they will need to collect the appearance through the BOE, and of course any other class as well. Same for the warrior set. So here, for instance, as you can see, only the normal version has another source, but normally this belt can only be acquired from the BOE item. And then for the paladin helm, basically only paladins will be able to get the appearance from the raid, from the different bosses, but any other plate class that also want to use this appearance will need to get it from the BOE. So for this reason, really, you can get some really good items that can then sell for a lot of gold. Also, one thing that is important to note is the fact that these different BOEs used to be pretty rare and the drop rate was very low. But with, I believe, patch 10.1.7, the drop rate for all these different BOEs have been increased drastically. And so it means that now you're able to get them way more easily. For this reason, these different BOEs are now selling for a cheaper price, but the sell rate increased a lot, and so you can sell them really fast. When it comes to the average sell rates and value, as you can see for the different plate items, for instance, most of them are around 10 to 15k gold, and the sell rate is around 0.450 to like 0.150 for the boots. Of course, not only the plate items are good. As you can see here, for instance, you also have, for instance, the different leather items. So you have these different shoulders, you have the boots here, you also have the belt. And then you have a few more of them, but really, again, as you will only be able to get the different BOEs that your class can actually equip, I would recommend you to do this farm on a play character in priority. So for the farm, it's going to be pretty simple. You just want to enter the raid and then you want to go and kill the 3 first bosses. Normally you can really solo them very easily. When you're done with the third boss, you want to jump in the water, and here you want to grab all the different mobs that are before the overboss. So just kill all of them and make sure to loot. Then you want to take the stairs and go up, and here you will simply have to open a door and you will arrive in another part of the raid. So here you want to kill all the different mobs that are before this overboss. Then when you're done, you want to go and open another door. And here you will have to go even more up. So here you want to kill all the mobs that are here, even the neutral ones. Make sure to not step on the big purple area that is in the middle of the rooms, because then you will be stunned for 20 seconds. And finally, you want to arrive on top of the stairs. Here you will have another area where you can kill all the different mobs. And you will have a final little room that you can enter. And you have a few more mobs on top of this different room. And then you want to go back to the main room. You want to use this different lock to open the main gate. And you will basically be at the entrance of the raid. So then what you can do is simply leave the raid. And if, for instance, you want to do it in different difficulties, you can just go out. You can change the difficulty, do the farm in another difficulty, and then when you're done with the different difficulties, you will simply have to wait for the different trash mobs to respawn. Finally, at number 1, we will have Antorus, which is the last raid of Legion. So here again, we have some really good BOEs, and most of them have unique appearances. So it means that if a class wants to complete their full set, they will need to use the BOE to acquire the appearance. And also, for some other classes, you will need to get the BOE in order to get the appearance of a set from another class. So for instance, here probably the best one from this raid is going to be the shoulders from the monk set. And as you can see, if you're playing on a level class that is not monk, you will need to get the BOE in order to acquire the appearance. So for this one, as you can see, some of these different BOEs again can sell for more than 25,000 gold a piece and have really good sell rate. Again, the drop rate has been increased drastically, so normally it's pretty easy to get them. Here again, I would say that probably leather is going to be the best because you have this one right here, this one, and also the legs. But then the plate ones are also pretty decent, and also, of course, the cloth ones. So you can really do it on different characters. But the main one you want to get is, of course, the Fell Flame Infernal shoulder pads. And so you want to do it on a leather character. And again, you can do it on all the different difficulties. And each time you will be able to get different type of appearances for each of these different BOEs. So for this one, it's going to be extremely simple. What you want to do is enter the raid. And here you want to grab all the mobs that are before the first boss. Don't jump from the platform. Kill all the different mobs, loot, and then you want to exit, reset, and do it again and again. So this is something that is very fast. I would recommend you to change difficulty when you get the BOE that you're after. So for instance, here as you can see on my first run, I got the mythic leather shoulders. And so after that, I decided to change to heroic in order to then get the other version of the shoulders. Keep in mind also that for Sepulcer, Tomb of Sargeras and Antorus, you can do the farm in LFR difficulty. Again, the skins of the different BOEs are unique and they are different than normal, heroic, and mythic. And so this is something that can also be pretty interesting in terms of farming opportunity. So if you want to do the different Legion raids in LFR difficulty, you just want to go here in Dalaran and talk to this guy, and then you will be able to select which part you want to do. And then for Sepulcer, you will need to go inside of Oribos and talk to this guy, as you can see, and select the different sections from Sepulcer. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you will be able to make some gold with all these different gold farms. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos. And in the meantime, I wish you all a great weekend. Bye!